Okay, everybody. Dan Fitzpatrick here at stockmarketmentor.com. I want to go over some semiconductors today. Believe it or not, it's not all about NVIDIA anymore, though we will look at NVIDIA, and you will find that it may not be all about NVIDIA, but it's still pretty much about NVIDIA. So I'm starting with the SMH here on the weekly chart, the semiconductor index. And what this shows us is, we'll do it this way. I got a lot of lines here. Okay. What this shows us is that this thing came full circle from a big pullback in 2022 and then a rally off the bottom, like the market in general. A lot of things did this, but I really, really like this follow through because this ran up here, 160, same, basically a double top, so to speak, but then a mild little pullback. And the pullback wasn't on super high volume, not like this. See, compare the difference between the volume here and the volume here. So this pullback was healthier, really, and it fell right back to the 40-week or the 200-day moving average, roughly. They're calculated a little different, but it's essentially that looks the same. So anyway, and then we finally got a breakout here at 150, and this was back in November, and then that took you up to 160. And finally, we just really got a convincing breakout a month later in the middle of December, where everything else kind of melted up as well. So now here we are in January, a month after this. You see, it bottomed here in late October, and then it breaks out or comes to test this in November, mid-November, and then we finally get the ultimate breakout in mid-December, and here we are in mid-January with the follow through here, and we've got higher volume here. So this was running lower volume. I'd drawn this before when this was trading sideways, and now that it's moving up, we're getting higher volume. So this is what I like about it. And Kramer might be talking about this on Monday. He asked me for some stock ideas just a little while ago. And I told him what I'm telling you right now, and he may go in a different direction. I have no idea. But when he asks me what I think, I tell him what I think, and he either says okay or nay. So we'll see, but this is really what I'm getting at here. On this weekly chart, we see a really, really strong, convincing continuation here. On the daily chart, you see it, but it almost looks like, oh, geez, this is ripe for a big pullback. You zoom out and you look at the weekly and you go, no, I don't think so. Okay, so we'll look real quickly at NVIDIA here. I told Charles Payne, it was a few months ago when NVIDIA was just, actually, I think it was at the first time it tested 500 on that initial earnings report. Yeah. And then it had fallen back. And I'd said, look, we could see NVIDIA run up to $1,000, but obviously, because it's a numerical thing, the stock has to break out above 500 convincingly, because if you're talking about some stupid price target that's $1,000 and this weak sister can't even get up above 500, I mean, what are we talking about here? It's a stupid conversation to have. But just technically, I was just looking at the way this thing was trading. I'm pretty familiar with the fundamentals too, but this isn't the nature of this conversation. It has nothing to do with that stuff. But I was looking at this and said, yeah, I think $1,000 is a good target for this over time, like over several quarters, but it has to break through first. And so guess what? It did, like right after the first of the year. Here we go. It's January and the stock breaks out, massive volume, heavier volume even the next day. And look at how many green skyscrapers there are in a row. There's just not that many selling days. And when there is a selling day, it's hardly any pullback, just barely a pullback at all. So this stock is absolutely going higher. No question about it. I've never seen a chart that looks like that. When a stock breaks out like this, at some point, it'll start drifting higher and kind of doing the next base. But this from here goes higher. Now, I put on a couple stocks on the active trade list today, and Rambus was one of them, another semiconductor stock. This had a real convincing breakout here above 70 on heavier than average volume. I don't know what the heck happened there, but you can see here heavier than average volume here. And so I really like the way Rambus is moving. I have a small position in this. I actually have a pretty big position in NVDA relative to my trading account. And so I like these two a lot. I think you can look at Rambus and say, all right, this thing is going to go higher. As far as a price target, frankly, be perfectly honest, I would just be guessing. And I don't like to guess unless it's in cards. But $20 was the downside here. And so I guess we could do a measured move and say, okay, if 70 was the breakout, then let's pick 90 as the next potential pause. Or we could do what Bill O'Neill does, is say, when you get a bona fide breakout, you should start looking to take profits in anticipation of the next sideways move by 20%. And so for him, that would have been 81.50. So let's just be modest and say, I'm looking at another 10% move in the stock from here. I think that works. Then the other one I promised I'd cover is SMCI. This is up big today. We're up. We had this stock on for a while, and so we've got a really, really nice trade going on this. I think it goes higher from here. Okay, I really do. Okay, now that's it for this. But I want to mention to you, we've started a fast track initiation where there's, oh gosh, I don't know, 25 videos, and I'm going to be adding a few more, by the way, for all of our free chart people and members too, of course. But if you're not, maybe you got this email from somebody else or whatever, but if you're not on our free chart list, then you're not going to be able to learn about this. Also, though, this was our problem, but it wasn't our fault. Google went and changed a bunch of stuff on their fucking really. Okay, so, and one other thing on that, just recently I think it was the last 3 or 4 days, you may have had a hard time registering to get into the fast track. And it was because of some changes that Google made that caused our reCAPTCHA thing, where are you a real person, to not be working right. And it actually took a few days to get that resolved. So, but it is resolved now. So if you've had any issues getting onto the website, go back there now and you should have no problem. But I'm really excited about this fast track program because I guarantee you, I promise you, if you go through this fast track, you will come out the other side as a better trader. And it goes on for about 6 weeks, I think, maybe even a little bit more. So this is not just a goofy ad campaign or something like this. This is a real in-depth walk through much of the trading process. And because of what it is, I don't have forever to do that. Can't cover everything that you need, but you will find that you're getting a lot of learning and a lot of trading tips, trading processes, things like that, that you're going to like. You're going to like a lot. So I hope that you get on that fast track. I guarantee you're going to be happy you did. So, okay, that's the end of that. I'll see you guys next time.